Welcome to the Kansas City Zoo. This is the Hellsberg Penguin Plaza in Kansas City, Missouri. It is home to 19 happy, thriving Humboldt penguins.
Some fast facts about the Humboldt penguin are they live in San Juan, Peru, and then their average weight is 9.6 pounds. They're about 22 to 28 inches, and then they're a vulnerable species, and there are 32,000 mature individuals.
Some basic threats of the Humboldt penguin are guano harvesting. Guano is used in fertilizer and it's harvested by their habitat, so it ruins their nesting sites. Also lost nesting sites. There are also predators like the Indian fox, which prey on the young and the eggs. And most of the time when the penguins are killed, they're used for bait, like their meat is used for bait for like crabs, and the eggs are eaten by just for food.
Genetic roles take a huge place in conserving the animal. Pairing strong breeding pairs goes a long way. Pairing strong penguins with strong genetic stability, connecting back to the founders of the population, can make it harder for the penguins to have genetic disorders or weak genes.
What is the Kansas City doing to protect the penguins? So one of the things we are doing to help protect Humboldt penguins is we look at their genetic code, and basically based on their genes we make suggestions, and we take suggestions on which penguins should breed together. It's called the species survival plan. Basically it's kind of like a matchmaking service. So we take penguins that have a high genetics and we put them together, and hopefully they'll give us a baby. If that baby does kind of hatch, then what's really nice is that genetic pool increases. So by increasing that genetic pool, it gives us the opportunity that if we ever needed to put some back into the wild, that they would be able to flourish and add to that gene pool. We also do work in Peru. What they're currently doing is they are monitoring how much guano is collected. So penguins poop, our Humboldt penguins poop about once every 15 minutes. So that's a lot of poop. They also poop on their rocky outcroppings, which is where they also lay their nests. So that guano is actually very beneficial to our penguins, but it's also a great fertilizer. So people like to over-harvest it, and that ends up really harming the penguin population. So what Peru is doing is they actually have reserves where they basically say you are not allowed to collect guano from certain periods of time, or you just can't collect it from this area. This then allows the penguins to flourish, but it also allows the community to get a good fertilizer.
Okay, and then so one more. Why are the Humboldt penguins in indoor-outdoor exhibit?
So our Humboldts are a warm weather penguin, which means that they can, when they're in Peru, it is pretty warm, so that's why we can have them outdoors and indoors. But with our cold weather penguins, they have to be in a temperature controlled climate, so it's about between 38 and 40 degrees Fahrenheit in there, while the Humboldts kind of have that nice range. So that's why they can be indoor and
Dr. Mike Adkisson and Dr. Jen Langan were both researchers that went to Peru on a research trip. Their work was important to conservation because these penguins are vulnerable in the wild, and this research can show how conservationists can conserve the population of these penguins.
This is the outdoor Humboldt penguin habitat. Unfortunately, it's too cold today for us to be able to see the penguins outside, but most of the other times when I've been here, they've been outside. They basically just have some rocks that like imitate their habitat and then some pool. But just to mention some organizations that are helping out with the Humboldt penguins are the Humboldt Penguin Conservation with the St. Louis Zoo. They're a research group that went down to Peru to help conserving the Humboldt penguin population. The Chilean Forest Service is also trying to get rid of small rodents in their forests to stop eating the little eggs. The National Zoo in Santiago, Peru, is also working to save neglected eggs by harvesting them and raising them in captivity.
Some recommendations for animal success are to stop using guano, which helps the penguins in the wild. We can also donate to organizations that help the penguins. We can also create strong breeding pairs in the zoos to increase the gene pool of the species.